let's talk to Tom Watson, who heads the All-Parliamentary Group on Drones. As the Australian in the room, generally the token Australian, it was revealed a couple of months ago that the Australian government, there was a leak that quite openly admitted and took credit for the fact that the American government could not be acting upon these strikes in the way without Australian intelligence that was collected from Australian territory. And to me, this was shocking. It was Australians are quite smug, and we like to take credit for our wins. And our military leaked quite actively saying, yes, they couldn't do it without us. But the UK government still continues to refuse to confirm or deny whether they are part of and contributing through intelligence to the US drone program. Now, how credible is that in light of the Snowden revelations in recent months? And what are you doing about letting us all know about what's actually going on?
Sure. Okay, good question. Well, we don't officially know anything. We hardly know anything about our official drone program, but the Snowden revelations have sort of had a big impact on me as a sort of parliamentarian trying to hold the executive to account, and it takes you to the sort of elemental core of that thing called the special relationship. And what I now understand that special relationship to be is the agreement between GCHQ and NSA, which has actually held this country bound into American foreign policy for half a century. And unfortunately for us, that means that when the United States embark on a targeted killing program, the UK does not hold our allies to account. And that's just not right, is it? And we shouldn't put up with it. And part of the reason I set up the drones group with cross-party support, Lib Dems and Conservative MPs all got together to set this group up was we just thought that this new technology marked a new era in war making, virtually zero cost war making for one aggressor. And that's wholly new. And we felt that our framework of international laws, treaties and agreements do not currently accommodate that new and explosive sort of new technology. There's billions and billions and billions of dollars being invested in research and development across many, many countries and continents. So this is going to be with us for decades to come. And of course the problem we had was when we started looking at, where do you begin just looking at this technology and how you sort of accommodate it in a legal framework? You get into all sorts of issues the government don't want to talk about, like citizenship stripping, where people who were UK citizens occasionally get assassinated by drones. And of course, when they're not British citizens, the UK doesn't have to protest about it. Or when you look at intelligence sharing, and there's a very important article this week in The Independent that looks at the role of RAF Crawton, which the government would tell you they do not know what the Americans do on that base. We know this because we've asked the government in parliamentary questions and they won't tell us. So we've got an American listening base on UK territory that we don't know what it does. And The Independent revealed that it might have been used to target Frau Merkel's phone in Germany, which frankly is a big foreign policy problem for the United Kingdom. So really why I'm here tonight is an ask of you. I'm afraid all the political parties' positions is not adequate when looking at the whole issue of mass surveillance, intelligence sharing, and this new iteration of war making. And we have a general election coming in 18 months. And like with media regulation, when people come together to try and demand of political parties that they listen to them, things begin to happen. And just by one way of conclusion before we open it up, the one thing that film gave me was a belief in journalism again. And what you saw with that was courageous investigative journalism, looking at the political situation that needs to be addressed. And you think about all the media reform debate we've had in this country for the last 5 years, and you saw that kind of courage that it took to get that story out, and it kind of gives you a belief in the nobility of journalism again, and we should all be very proud of the team that put that documentary together.